Hey, what's up, guys? This is Grant,
This is Tash.
and this is Indie BN to the B.
Today, we talk with Michael Desmond of the band Local Nomad out of Charleston, South Carolina, by way of Long Island, New York. Really cool guy. Got some great tunes, and you're going to enjoy this one.
Yeah, a lot of great stories came out of this one. So really excited for you guys to hear it. Roll the motherfucking tape.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Indiebnb. We are joined today by Mr. Michael Desmond of Local Nomad. How's it going today?
Good, man. How you doing?
We are good. We're so glad to have you on. We kind of found out about you through Babe Club and some of the other Charleston music scene guys. But we've recently become fans of yours and excited to talk to you about your music.
Well, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Of course. So, I always do a little research, see what I can find out. And you've actually got one of the best websites I've seen out of any of the artists we've had. It's so cool. How'd you get that website so cool?
Well, I can tell you this. I can tell you my secret. I didn't do it. It was my manager, and he killed it.
Hell yeah. It's cool how you got the sort of video thing kind of moving around. But I read your kind of your bio, and I've got a little bit of information about how Local Nomad got started, but kind of give a quick rundown to our listeners about how this all got started.
Well, I've been playing in bands for 12 to 15 years now. And this is the second thing that I've done on my own. And the real reason I was going by Des, which everyone in New York, I just moved to Charleston a month ago. Everyone in New York calls me Des. My last name is Desmond. And this kid that I grew up with, he actually blew up. His name is Des Rocks, and he stole my name. And he friggin' blew up. And so I didn't have to change my name, but I was just it'd probably be a good idea to change it because it's very similar. So that's the real story behind the name. But what it means to me is, I spent the last 8 years of my life playing music full time, gigging, and I was always on the move, going to new places. And that's kind of where it came from. And one of my buddies from New Jersey, he was like, why don't you call yourself Local Foreigner? And I was like, probably not good timing for me to call myself that in the world in general.
Yeah.
So, my friend's sister was like, what about Local Nomad? And I was like, yeah, that's perfect. It's awesome. It's easy to search. And I was like, that's it. Because finding a band name is so damn difficult now, because I spoke about this many times on other podcasts and stuff, but you got people spelling their names wrong on purpose, or doing some weird underscore thing or cross through a circle. And I was just not about that. And I didn't really want to use my name.
Yeah.
So I just kind of settled on Local Nomad, and I'm pretty happy with it. So
yeah, it's a badass name. And
thanks, man.
This is a compliment, but it was misleading to me. I had, for some reason in my head, Grant's like, we're getting this guy Local Nomad on. I'd never heard of you. And this, like we always talk about on here, this is a way for Grant and I to just find new music and get closer to music. So, I'd never heard of Local Nomad. So in my head coming in before I hit play, I was thinking this is going to be a folk artist, and then just was completely flipped on my head. So it was a great surprise. I loved it.
Oh, sweet.
And I love your sound. And I read on your website, you say you're like a mixture of Paul Simon and Gnarls Barkley, and that is a hell of a comparison. What kind are those two your biggest influences, or just what you think you sound like?
Somebody just said that to me somebody that I was in a writing session with, it's in another band, like kind of threw that comment at me. So, and some other people have said the Gnarls Barkley thing, just because of the Love Is Gone song has a very like roots music, soul, like Blood, Sweat and Tears vibe. And I feel like it's very similar to like a song like Crazy by Gnarls Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my sound, I mean, what I kind of do with my music is I do write folk songs at the core of my music. And I love, you know, all sorts of different rock music and stuff. Like I really like Spoon. I really like Grizzly Bear, I like Elliott Smith. Tears for Fears is one of my favorite bands. And for me, I kind of came to the conclusion after years of doing this, it's like one of my favorite artists is Beck, just because he's done so many cool things. And he's like alternative pop rock, you know, but his music is all over the place. And that's kind of like what I do, and why I also like Tears for Fears so much. So for me, it's like what I kind of did over this time was combine pop music with like records that I like, you know, and kind of trying to writing pop songs and giving them like a cool left of center production element. And that's kind of what I'm bringing to the table. But I listen to everything, man. Like I'm a really big fan of jazz, and like Brad Mehldau, Chet Baker, Kamasi Washington, Thundercat. I like stuff like that. But I'm literally all over the map, you know.
Yeah. Was this you know, you said that you'd been gigging for a long time, and was this sort of your first chance to really hone in on like the sound of music that you wanted to create?
Yeah, man. Well, I think it just takes a while, and I'm still trying to, you know, hone in on everything, because you change, you know. But definitely, because I think it's challenging to work without a band, because it's just me, and I work with a producer back home, and I'm actually working with Corey now, working on some songs with him. And you guys know Human Resources?
I don't think I do.
They're a Charleston band. I was just working with the drummer from that band. So basically, like, yeah, it took me a while to find my sound, and I don't know if, you know, I'm always trying to find it. You know, I don't really know how to answer that question, but I'm always changing. So I kind of just go with what I'm feeling and what I'm listening to at the moment, and what influences me, you know?
Yeah. So was this with Local Nomad? Did you have some of these ideas, you know, with the EP that you released last year? Did you have some of these ideas for a long time, or did you just say, I'm coming in the studio and I'm going to just create new songs just from, you know, thin air, basically?
Both, man. You know, I had songs for a long time, and I finished those songs in 2018. But I had just gotten a manager, and we were trying to figure out like the best way to release them. And then the pandemic hit, and we kind of got really lucky with some great opportunities, and, you know, in the streaming world. And it kind of helped us grow during that time. But usually, unfortunately, how it works is like I'll write a lot of songs, and then like try to figure out how to release them, which sometimes takes a while. So by the time you release music, it's like kind of old. Like I finished those songs in 2018 and didn't release them until 2020. And the process with writing that EP, as I wrote about 20 songs, and then I picked, you know, the best couple songs, and then kind of went from there. And a lot of the times when I'm writing songs, I will come in, this time around, I did it from more of like a satirical point of view. Like I have a song called Getting Old as a Bitch.
Yeah.
And I have a song called Summertime, which I talk about my Little League baseball team. And I guess, you know, in my life, I've kind of come to this point where I've learned how to embrace my sense of humor, where in the past, I felt kind of weird about that. I was like, no, I need to be this real ass dude. I need to be serious. And now it's like, I find that being honest with who I am and putting that in my music is way more cool.
Yeah.
Because it's real, and being real is cool. So, that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I loved your lyrics. I mean, there's so many times where I was listening and I was like, hold on, is that what he just said? And I had to go like I was listening to the what is it? Karen. And I was like, hold on, this song is what everyone thinks it's about. It's about people being Karens in these trying times. And yeah, I mean, it's just, I love your music, man. It's getting old as a bitch is so chill. And my dad always says getting old is not for sissies. So it was just
that should be my next song.
Yeah, but that must, you brought up summertime, and one thing I wrote in my notes on that was you have a great swing in the music video. Grant's our local music video expert. So I guess we go ahead and get into some of your music videos at this point, because they're all fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Really the Summertime was the one song we featured. And what's funny is you're in the back of that, the first, for people who don't know, the first time we kind of met you, we were recording with your sister's band Babe Club, and you were in the back of the car, and they go, this is my brother Local. He's got a cool band. It's called Local Nomad. You should check it out. And so we're like, all right. And then we have a prospect list on Spotify for like who we feature on our page, and had already put you down,
Sweet.
as a guy who as a song for, because I heard that Spotify had brought me Summertime, but I love the music video. I think exactly, the people who create a music video, they want to give like another visual representation of their song and how they do it, and I love the way you put that together with the quick cuts and being able to see. So are all those characters real? Is Jimmy really a dick? Like what? Who is like what?
Kevin? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like when I wanted to write a baseball song because it was like a challenge for me, because I was like, this is kind of stupid. But that's kind of my thing now, is like challenging myself to be as uncomfortable as I can and write a song about it. And like that, all those people are real. And I just think that, like I said before, bringing a sense of humor into what I do, I think at this point is important. It's because it's who I am. Like, I'm just kind of an asshole. and it's really funny because when I was writing that song, and I was like, oh shit, can I say this? Should I say this? And it felt uncomfortable. So I said, yes, I can. So that means I'm doing something right, because like being comfortable is the worst thing that you can do. For sure. Or if you're too comfortable in life, or you're too comfortable in making art, feel like you're doing it wrong. Yeah. And that's just what I've learned over time. And with this song, so all the people are real, and they actually like, it's really funny. I haven't seen them in years, but to me, the whole thing about baseball is hilarious because I don't know, how you guys grew up, but like Little League was so, can I curse on this? Is that a thing?
Oh yeah.
It's like so fucking serious. Little League was like so serious growing up, to the point where like parents would fight sometimes. And like, it would just be like, what? This is a game for children. And so like, I kind of put that aspect into it. And the song just encompasses like, if only life were as simple as like going back then to play baseball, because we have all this other shit in life that we're concerned about. And, parents got serious about, who's playing or who's not. And this one did drugs. This one went away. This one died. This one had cancer. And, Kevin actually hit me up the day that the song came out. He goes, let's settle this right now. Do you actually think I'm a dick? Of course I said no, because I don't care. But I don't know how he is now. But, he definitely was a dick, and he probably still is. But not for the normal reason that someone is a dick. He's probably a nice guy. But some people are just douchey people. And it's
Yeah.
not that they're actually a dick, but like, let's be real. Like some people are just douchey people, and
Yeah.
doesn't mean they're bad people, and it's just the song. Like I didn't say his last name, you know?
Yeah.
And another fucking, another kid's girlfriend was like, I can't believe you'd say that about my boyfriend. And I was like, I really like your boyfriend and his family. Like they're really nice people. And it's a song. Like, it's not like I said, you know, so-and-so who lives at this address.
Yeah. We don't know who these people are. I mean, like, we just, oh man.
Yeah, you guys don't know. You don't even know what they look like. So who cares?
Yeah,
it's
they were all you.
Thing, you know?
They were all you in the music video. So
yeah, so they probably got mad at that because. But I don't know, man, because it's like I don't care no more. You know?
Yeah. How did you come up with the video? I mean, like obviously the concept of the video is probably already ingrained from the song, but like just the actual production and kind of the nuts and bolts. That's something that we always want to know about and kind of hear the behind the scenes.
Well, what I really do now is like I try to, because we grew up in an era where music videos were so important to us.
For
you know,
sure.
like, I used to come home, Fridays or and watch TRL or like Fuse. And for me, like, there's a music video by All American Rejects. That's like, I was like, this is a cool vibe. So I kind of wanted to go with that. And because of the pandemic and everything that was going on, it's like, I'm always a fan of really simple music videos that like tell a story. And if I can, convey that, then it's like mission accomplished. And because it was just me, that was like a route that I wanted to go down and kind of explore, telling the story about my baseball team, but just me.
Yeah.
And I think like, because, a lot of the songs I write now are more narrative. They kind of lend itself to that, and they're easier to make. So it's much easier to like craft a music video around something that, already has a story built in, because you're not dealing with some like ethereal thing. It's kind of like meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, I saw that All American Rejects music video and I was like, this is really cool. I don't even remember the video off the top of my head. I
want to say Move Along. He has like
Move Along. Exactly.
He goes around it.
So that's kind of like where I try to do. And like, I'm not even ashamed to say that, because like anybody who writes songs or makes movies is always chasing something or an inspiration. And I used to like, say to myself, oh, like I can't do that. This person did it, but it's just like, it's not going to be the same,
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I come from now with songwriting and everything. It's just like, I tried to do that and did something else,
Yeah.
So.
Well, speaking of kind of the story and the narrative, I mean, like the one thing I was watching the Snake Child video and I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck happened to this guy's nose? And you just had that nose strip on. I don't know why that like was my like focus, but like, I was like, dude, what is going on? And then like, obviously the video is just like, wildly, chaotic with, all the black and white and all the, everything going on. And, everyone's doing, it seems like there's a drug narrative. Tell me a little bit more about that and the inspiration and everything behind that one.
Well, that's actually, that song is about my friend Snake Child. His name is Snake Child. And like everything in that song is like a true story.
Wow.
I live a weird life.
Tell us more about Snake Child.
Yeah, his name is Snake Child. His name is Adam. He's a producer, and he's like the craziest dude I know. Like sometimes I question like, how is this dude still alive? I probably shouldn't be saying this on, he probably won't even see it, but we're still friends. And yeah, he actually so basically like I used to go to New Jersey and work on records with him, and I would just like sleep on his floor and we work on music. And he had a time period where he was just like crazy addicted to drugs. And I won't go too much into that, but like we just had some crazy experiences. And like, so in the story, in the bridge, I talk about he used to DJ the Playboy Club in New York. And
Wow.
one time he was dancing with Cardi B. Cardi B came and he blacked out, and someone had to drive him home because he didn't know where he was. And he got back to New Jersey and woke up the next day, and people like sent him all these videos of him hanging out with Cardi B and Future. And so that's kind of why, like, so because the song is called Snake Child, I changed the name to Nicki Minaj because it paid off to Anaconda Line. So basically, the music video is just like me having a night with Snake Child. We never got into like a fight or anything like that, but like we've just like been through some crazy shit. And like for a while, like I don't do drugs, you know, like I just drink and I just chill. But like, you know, I have some friends, and Snake Child is one of them that like, again, like he's like Mick Jagger, you know, like he's just like one of those guys who can fall off a roof and then fly away and somehow grow wings. So, and he's like literally the Elvis of New Jersey, because I meet people down here that are in bands. My friend Anil, he's from Jersey. He's like, dude, I know Snake Child, and he knows the story of Snake Child. Everybody in New Jersey knows. So like, it's like such a deep thing. So some people are like, what is Snake Child? But he's an actual person. And yeah, so.
Holy shit.
Dude, that is why we do this podcast, is for that right there. I mean, who would have thought? No, I mean, I didn't never guess that. And great song, great video.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
All around. How did you pull off getting everyone? Was it it's the Karen video where it's like supposed to be a documentary? Am I remembering that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are just my friends. I mean, I used to tour with Taking Back Sunday, and I'm friends with John Nolan, and my sister used to be in Susto, and you know, Justin helped me out, and you know, that just kind of came together. But really, you know, a bunch of my friends do video stuff, and I just kind of wrote that song with the idea of doing that video because I was like, this is hilarious. And I kind of just went full Spinal Tap on it, you know?
Yeah.
And we just rented a pier space, which is like, I don't know if you guys know what a pier space is, but it's basically like you can rent out a roof or like a photo studio for like an hourly rate. And we rented this roof out. And, you know, it's like all these videos I just kind of do on the fly with my friends. And like, they're all on like a budget of like $300. So I'm just really fortunate to have grown up with so many talented people in New York, like really involved in film, and they just did a math class thing. They did
one. Okay, so before we broke up, you said you were fortunate to grow up with a lot of talented people, and that's where I think we were.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to grow up with like in a cool music scene in Long Island, like rest in peace now. That's kind of why I came down to Charleston, just because New York is kind of shot in general. But I'm really lucky to have grown up and grown with all my friends who are artists, who do film, who are photographers. And it just kind of naturally developed over time. Like all my friends we all grew together. Like I do music, my friend does film, my friends do photography. And like, it was just like a nice little scene that we all helped each other out. You know, there's not too much of a music scene in New York. Like there is, but there isn't. Like because everything is kind of online now, where I feel like down here, there's more of a community between, you know, live music and people here, mostly because everything's closer, everything's more affordable, and it's just a different community down here, you know?
Yeah, that's one thing that we've found, you know, really digging in, because like, you know, I'm friends with Danny Martin, who's in Two Slices, who's a band from down there, and we kind of got connected to Crab Clawed, and then, you know, to Babe Club and your sister's band, and really getting to know the whole Charleston community. And Keon, who we just released today, his podcast with Brave Baby, and so there's a ton of people together down there. It's a really awesome community. So I'm glad to see that you're infusing that as well. It's more alive than the almost more alive than the New York scene.
It's not that, it's just different, man.
Yeah.
It's just like there's still community, but you got to understand, like, New York is a place where a lot of stuff happens,
Mm-hmm.
So it's oversaturated.
Yeah.
So it's like down here, you're a bigger fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
In New York, you're a smaller fish in a big pond, because there's pre-COVID, 200 shows going on in one night.
Yeah.
And you're competing with artists that are huge, like you have like a Terminal 5 or like Madison Square Garden, and then you have like hundreds of tiny venues and stuff, and then mid-sized bands. So it's like in New York, you kind of have to be more careful about, if you're from there, it's expensive. And you're like, how many times are we going to play New York a year? Twice a year?
Yeah.
If we're doing a headlining show. So it's a much different type of situation. And here, people just go out because that's what they do here. Like, people go out in New York, but they're not necessarily like, oh, let's like check out this show because it's, 3 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the difference. I feel like the local scene here was what it was like in New York or like Long Island when I started playing music, in like 2008, 2007.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Because there was just a music scene. Like, there were tons of bands. I'm also 31 now. So like everyone my age is like having kids and stuff. So it's also different for me. But yeah, so I dig it down here though. It's cool.
Yeah, it's interesting that a lot of people are starting to kind of move down and get to that, kind of moving south a little bit. We've seen it here. There's more. I think there's more people coming from the north, coming down to Florida and Georgia, just because it's if you can work from home anywhere, you might as well cut your living costs in half. But yeah, very excited, to get, I think Tash and I need to take a trip to Charleston and hit up Royal American and, Lo-Fi and all those places that, we keep seeing pop up on our news feed, over and over again on Instagram, as far as like just hosting shows and doing shows. Any plans for you as far as like touring goes? And then we'll kind of run into Pete Peterson's party pack of questions after you talk about touring a little bit.
Not right now, man. I'm just putting out probably a bunch of like in the fall. I'm going to do a couple shows around here. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been here for a month now, so I'm trying to build a band, and I got a couple people down here that I'm going to be playing with. But more like regional stuff in late summer and fall. And I'm actually coming out with another EP in August, I think, right now.
Nice.
So
hell yes.
There you go.
Well, no. I mean, as it's kind of tricky because it's like shows are coming back, but it's just like being smart about it right now. Mm-hmm.
That's what we've talked with a lot of people that are like, it's the flood too. So it's not just like normal where like everything's staggered, where you can kind of like, you can slip into a better venue than like you could now because it's coming from the top down. I mean, like every big band in the world is going on tour this year. Like that.
Exactly. So that's kind of my thing. It's like, it's just a different thing right now. Cause it's like, okay, like, cause at this point, like, okay, like I could do DIY touring and hire people, but I've been doing it, like building myself online and, until like I'm able to really like, sustain that realistically and like be able to do touring in a way that's, beneficial to building my, my music. It's just hard to be like, yeah, I'm just going to do a whole bunch of like really, weird shows right now when things are still trying to come back together. So I kind of just made the decision, like, I'm just going to figure out some like regional stuff right now. Yeah. And then, you know, do the online stuff, because as you said, like, it's so true. Like, the bigger bands are just coming out of the woodworks, like all tours in the fall. And like, it's just, it's an interesting situation. I'm definitely glad that live music is back though.
Yeah.
So
you seem to have the right mindset about it. And, you know, it's like Dewey Finn said on School of Rock. The one thing people always forget about, it's about the music, man. It's about the music. So
Jesus.
It's about the music, and it's also about being like, hey man, like, I'm just one dude, and like, do I want to drain all my resources doing a tour that 10 people show up to right now? You know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not ideal. So it's like, I'm just trying to be smarter, because I'm also 31 right now, and it's like, I've done so much touring, whether it, you know, it'd be like the House of Blues situation, or like Terminal 5, or like Bowery Electric, and you know, House of Blues in New Orleans and stuff like that. Like, I played like tons of different venues, and it's kind of just being smart about it now, especially as an independent artist, where you have to do everything yourself. So it's like, what am I seeing the most growth in doing right now? It's like, shows will come, but when the timing is right to do, well, touring, you know, touring will come for me. But
yeah,
for sure. Well, we hope that your regional circuit will extend up, you know, up 75 to Atlanta. You got 4 people who would maybe be able to come in the fall, because Tash is having a kid, and me, and then his wife would come probably too.
So you guys, okay, I didn't know where you guys are from. You guys are from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So we got there's plenty. I think
awesome.
You know, there's plenty of rooms in here that for sure that, you know, I think there's a big Charleston crowd. You know, a lot of people who went to college in Charleston, and then a lot of people who will live there and then come back to Atlanta. So there's a good crowd of, you know, that group here. But with that, you know, want to hop right in here to Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. These are going to be rapid fire, so you know, we should be pretty easy though. We'll kick us off here. Cake or pie?
I'd have to say pie.
All right, sunrise or sunset?
I'd say sunset.
Love at first sight, is it real or not?
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
No.
Would you rather have a night in or a night out?
I'd say a night out.
Night out. All right. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Okay. Would you rather be a ninja or a pirate?
I'd say a pirate.
Pirate. Hey, he's down the coast. You mean, gotta embrace the coastal air there.
It's just easier, man. It's just easier. Pirate life.
Yeah. All right. How about is Bigfoot real?
No.
Are aliens real?
Yeah, but not like we imagine them to be. I think they're like particles that we can't see and shit.
Yeah. You got that tic-tac bullshit going on right now. Yeah, we don't know if those are real or not. All right. Red wine or white wine?
Red.
Vintage or new?
Vintage.
Would you rather party all night or day drink?
I'd say party all night.
The New York lifestyle. I've been there one time. It was definitely a party all night kind of place. Candy corn or candy pumpkins? What'd you say?
I don't know. Candy corn.
Kroger or Publix?
Publix.
All right. Are you more likely to do the robot or the worm at a party?
The worm.
Tenders or wings?
Wings, baby.
All right. With those wings, you having ranch or blue cheese?
Blue cheese.
All right. Pants or shorts?
Pants, man.
All right. Donuts
Oh,
or
yeah.
toaster strudels?
Donuts.
Donuts. All right. This one's controversial. This one divides a lot of the indie rock community. Chips or pretzels?
Chips.
All right. We got another. It doesn't sound like you're anti-pretzel. It's a lot of times is what we find. A lot of people don't like pretzels.
No, man. I mean, I like both. But...
Yeah. All right. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. We got some guy. Yeah. Some people out here not big fans of pretzels. All right. And finally, bands we might not know that we should know. We do have we interviewed somebody from New York. They did talk about Man Dancing and a few other New Jersey bands. I don't know if you know them or not, but so tell us some people that up in Jersey, up around Charleston that we should be checking out.
So Jersey, the Jack Moves. They were on Jack Johnson's label or Ben Harper's label. Really cool, like soul 60s retro feel vibe band. Elle Rain from Brooklyn. She's a really cool, I'd say it's very similar to like Bjork.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say my sister showed me this one band, Crybaby, which I think is pretty cool. They have like this like late 90s, early 2000s song, or early 2000s sound. It's like sounds like Britney Spears production or like NSYNC, but it's also like indie. It's like really interesting, and the songs are cool. And they're from here. I think I just met some of them the other night.
Nice, very cool. All right, cool. We got the Jack Moves, Elle Rain, which is I wrote down ELLERAIN. Is that right, or is it spelled differently?
So it's L. It's okay. L apostrophe Rain.
Rain.
Super out there. All right. Yeah, it's cool though.
Very tight, very tight. Well, again, Pete, appreciate you answering the Pete Peterson party pack right there. I know it's some odd questions, but we want to make sure that we just have a little fun at the end of the interview, wrap it up nice and neat with a good bow on it, man.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, Michael, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you live soon, and looking forward to your new EP in August. For those of you listening, go out, Local Nomad, find them everywhere that music can be found. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Of course,
appreciate it.
Take care, man.
Take care.